Tonight, provincial police investigate the killing of a senior in Simcoe. Plus, the Oxford warden floats the idea that municipal councils could take over administration of schools and busing. And Premier Doug Ford is doubling down on his threat to pull Crown Royal and a whole lot more from the LCBO shelves.
CTV News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Norfolk OPP have launched a homicide investigation after a Simcoe senior was found dead in her home. Jerry Dewan has more now on the victim and the investigation.
West Region OPP have identified the victim as 71-year-old Barbara Morgan, who neighbors remember as kind and quiet.
Well, we're just neighbors and we're friends. We talk, but that was it.
Quinn Cook would see Morgan maintaining a small garden on the property of the Norfolk County Fairgrounds, steps from her home. She would fill it with plants from her own garden.
Every spring she'd go out and plant flowers and everything, try to spruce the place up.
The OPP arrived at the home on Head Street South around 10:30 Sunday morning after receiving a 911 call. Cook emerged from his home shortly after to see the heavy police presence.
And I saw the officers talking to one of the guys I've seen in that house before. He was sitting on the front step. And he looked upset.
Other neighbors identified the man as Morgan's son, who lives nearby. Members of the Norfolk OPP Forensics Unit were on scene Monday, searching inside and outside for evidence. Neighbors say Morgan told them that she had become uncomfortable having a boarder in the house and was anxious to have him move out. Police have not made an arrest and have not identified a suspect, posting an update on social media.
Preliminary information suggests this is an isolated incident with no indication of a broader threat.
But they are asking for the public to be on alert.
While there is no known risk to the wider community at this time, members of the public are encouraged to stay alert and report any suspicious activity to police as a precaution.
A post-mortem was planned for Monday as part of the investigation. In Simcoe, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
One person was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries after a car slammed into a house on Adelaide Street Sunday. Brent Lale reports.
There was a trail of carnage along Adelaide Street as an SUV took out a hydro pole, a stoplight, and then slammed into a home.
Just woke up, heard a bang, came out, couldn't get out the front door and went out the back, and somebody had hit the house.
Bill Van Beers and his brother were home when the SUV hit his house. 911 was called, then police and EMS arrived to find a man outside the vehicle. He was taken to hospital with minor injuries.
The lone driver of that vehicle has since been charged with impaired operation of motor vehicle by drug, as well as take motor vehicle without consent. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's been stolen. It's likely been taken without the owner's consent. Usually that's a case where it could turn into a civil matter.
Police closed a section of Adelaide between South Street and Hamilton Road while hydro crews worked. London Hydro initially asked the 6 homes closest to the crash to shelter in place while they assessed whether the wires were live.
Yeah, he had to be doing 140 kilometers an hour because he took out the hydro pole and went an extra 125 feet and hit the house. So, yeah, he was definitely moving, but he was up and walking around when we came out, so they took him to the hospital.
Van Beers spent the morning calling restoration companies and insurance.
I'm kind of frustrated because we've been fixing it up, and we had just fixed the porch up last summer, and now it's got to be replaced, so just more frustrating than anything.
No one was seriously injured. Brent Lale, CTV News.
One person has died following a crash in East London Sunday. Around 7 o'clock last night, emergency crews responded to Veterans Memorial Parkway and Gore Road for a 2-vehicle crash. Police say a male passenger suffered life-threatening injuries but died in the hospital. 3 people were transported with minor injuries. There is no word on possible charges. The trial of a 20-year-old London man charged in the death of an acquaintance resumed today. The jury watched a recorded interview the accused had with police investigators in the days following the stabbing. During the interview, the accused Trayton Hoffman tells police that he had been drinking alcohol with the victim, 16-year-old Malik McDonald Mills, near King Edward Avenue in East London in August of 2023. When asked how the teenager got stabbed, Hoffman says he doesn't know because he was maced at the time. The court has heard that McDonald Mills died from a stab wound to his artery. Charged with 1 count of manslaughter, Hoffman has pled not guilty. 2 others charged under the Young Offenders Act also face upcoming trials in connection with the death. Meanwhile, the manslaughter case looking into the death of a 15-month-old has now been adjourned for over 2 months. The trial of 46-year-old Megan Van Hoof was originally slated to last 4 weeks, but after a number of delays and legal arguments, another 5 weeks have been allocated for the case. Van Hoof has pled not guilty to a single charge of manslaughter in connection with the death of Nathaniel McClellan, who died in October of 2015 from a head injury. At the time, the accused had been babysitting the child at her home daycare in Strathroy. The trial will start hearing evidence again on December 15th, with time also slotted for January and February. Firefighters rescued a dog from a rural house fire on Nairn Road in North Middlesex this morning. Fire investigators are looking for cause and origin after crews encountered heavy smoke when they responded to this home around 9 a.m. today. The man renting the place arrived to alert firefighters his dog was inside. They were able to put out the blaze and rescue the animal.
We made entry to make sure that there were no occupants inside. We did locate a dog. The dog was removed from the building and was given oxygen and was transported by the owner to the vet clinic. And we're told that the dog's going to stay with the vet tonight. We'll go in and make sure that there are no hot spots left and make sure that it's safe to turn it back over to the owner.
Some tense moments in Wingham this morning following a hold and secure at a local high school. F.E. Medill Secondary locked its doors this morning after one student threatened another before classes started. Police arrived shortly before 9 to search for the student who made the threats. A suspect was taken into custody by 10 this morning, and the hold and secure was lifted.
Good evening. We're just outside of our CTV studios this night, enjoying this beautiful night. Michelle Boyceneau joins us from 519 Pursuit to talk a little bit about the 519 Pledge. Michelle, first tell us about 519 Pursuit and its role in the community.
So 519 Pursuit is an absolutely incredible organization that helps out those facing homelessness. We're a grassroots, non-for-profit organization.
And you talk about the friendship-based approach. What does that mean?
So we're just people who are going out to the street and seeing other people, right? Providing connection and friendship and, you know, just being that listening ear that maybe they haven't heard or been able to talk to in a very long time, right? We're just going there, showing up and being present.
All right, well, tell us about the 519 Pledge. We have a lot of socks here in front of us. I think we're showing our viewers at home some of the socks and the drives that are going on. What's the 519 Pledge?
So the 519 Pledge for socks is exactly what it is. We're trying to raise socks for not just our community, but you know, organizations even outside of London. And basically, we've done the sock drive. This is our 8th year, and throughout the 7 years that we've done a sock drive, we've raised over 500,000 pairs of socks and been donated to the community. And socks are one of the most important things. You know, they're the most asked for, but they happen to be the least thought of to donate. So that's really where the 519 Pledge came into action.
And you're hoping this starts conversation for folks at home, because at businesses, at schools, where they work, you want people to talk about homelessness as part of this.
Yeah, and it's a really kind of fun way to get engaged with those you love, or with you know, friends or folks in the community. You know, you belong to a church or a Rotary Club, or you know, you belong to a sports team. Maybe decide to take the 519 Pledge and you know, even make it a competition, see who can raise the most socks.
All right, do you have a goal for this year?
So our goal is 100,000 pairs plus, and I think our far out future would be within the 10 years, you know, the 8 that we're on right now, to get a total of 100 or 1 million pairs of socks donated out into the community.
All right,
so.
And for more, if you want to join the pledge, you go to 519 Pledge or 519 pursuit.ca?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us. What a night we're having. Beautiful conditions across our region. Temperatures holding between 25 and 28 degrees. A slew of records were broken over the past couple of days. Over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I think over 60 plus records across Ontario. The heat has now spread to the Maritimes. Records are breaking there as well. No record in London today, but 25 degrees on the hour. Beautiful conditions, lots of sunshine as we head through the early evening. But we have a cold front that'll be moving in tonight with scattered showers and thunderstorms on the way, and that'll put an end to this heat that's been in place. Fall returns in the forecast. I'll take you through all of that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Julie. As Canada works towards designing nation-building projects to counter U.S. tariffs, officials in Goderich are trying to push a multi-million-dollar port expansion. They believe this will help all of southwestern Ontario. Scott Miller reports.
Tourists are soaking in the last bits of summer along Goderich's beautiful waterfront, but it's what's on the other side of Goderich's harbor that's brought a room full of experts to the shoreline town.
The industry on the other side, actually, we have 2,500 jobs altogether with all the industry, which people don't know, high-paying jobs, and we want to obviously expand on our port if we can.
Goderich's port sees about 200 ships each year, shipping salt, grain, and wheat around the world and receiving shipments of gravel and aggregates. Following a 2018 expansion that saw 4 acres filled in to create new docks and portland, there's an appetite to see an additional 11 acres of Lake Huron filled in with rock and stone to create even more docks and land to expand Goderich's port even further. The price tag? $50 million.
I am on weekly calls with different funding groups in regards to understand which bucket of money then that can come from, both from a provincial perspective and a federal perspective. To me, as the president of the Port of Goderich, it doesn't matter. We just need the money. We are ready to go.
Port experts from around the Great Lakes recently stopped in Goderich to talk about that proposed expansion at the Huron Chamber of Commerce's Economic and Marine Forum. Herkman says every ship that comes through Goderich's port, or any port for that matter, effectively takes 600 trucks off the already clogged roadways.
There's a chance to take trucks off the road by using the water more efficiently. That's good for our environment. And so I think it really is a win-win-win if we can make projects like this happen.
As both the federal and provincial governments battle U.S. tariffs and talk about funding nation-building projects, proponents of Goderich's port expansion are trying to push their project to the front of the line for consideration.
If the time isn't right now, I don't know when it will be.
Herkman says in the meantime, the Goderich Port Management Corporation will spend $3.5 million to build a 50,000 square foot bulk storage building while they await federal and provincial cash to build what they really want to see, a new 11 acres of portland they hope could be ready to receive new cargo by 2028. In Goderich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
London taxpayers are rolling in the green. Well, not quite. But City Council will soon debate what to do with a projected operating budget surplus amounting to millions of dollars. CTV's Brian Bicknell has more.
It's a little bit like found money. City Council's Infrastructure and Corporate Services Committee has endorsed a projected surplus of $23.6 million in this year's operating budget, plus another $6.6 million of surpluses from the water and wastewater budgets.
Our staff are using city funds efficiently and finding savings when possible. We're also seeing that when we're able to secure additional funding from other levels of government.
So where do these newfound millions come from? A staff report cites an extra $10.6 million in social and community support services, things like Ontario Works payments and childcare funding. Nearly $5 million from garbage and recycling, primarily landfill tipping fees. $3.4 million from corporate services and more than $4 million from other service areas. If the surplus remains, staff recommends allocating $10.6 million for the operating budget contingency reserve. The mayor says it's money that could be used to pay down debt, support homelessness initiatives, and fund infrastructure, specifically new municipal heating systems.
That's really important because we have 3 significant draws potentially coming from that. 1, to deal with the N-Wave steam issue, 2, to deal with our winter response to homelessness, and 3, to give council the option to fund a micromodular site somewhere in the city. If we do all of those things, we need to replenish that reserve fund. The second piece is there will be more debt paid down. Our infrastructure gap will be lowered, and our unfunded liabilities, more of them will be met with a portion of the surplus.
Once again, this is only the halfway point, and the numbers are subject to change, but today's recommendation going to the full City Council next week. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The warden of Oxford County believes municipal councils should take partial control of education in Ontario. Tonight, he's explaining his plan in more detail. Here's Sean Irvin.
Everyone agrees it is all about the kids when it comes to education, but how it should be administered is a contentious debate in Ontario. Since the embattled Thames Valley District School Board was rendered powerless by the province due to financial leadership and uncertainty, other school boards have faced a similar fate. While the warden of Oxford County remains supportive of the province stepping in to right the ship, he wants a future balance between Queen's Park and local communities.
I think we have to be careful and not sort of polarize this conversation between two extremes and say, is there a way we can capture some local decision making with local input?
Ryan has pitched a solution to several mayors across the province. It's a simple approach. Let municipalities take over.
I think local councils could very easily look after the school buildings, the properties, the facilities, the recreation facilities. I think likewise with transportation, municipalities offer all kinds of transportation services. I think the catchment areas, the attendance zones for those schools, we do all kinds of land use planning. We're the main people who do land use planning in Ontario.
Under Ryan's plan, the province would retain control of curriculum and teachers' contracts. It is a bold idea met with partial acclaim by education consultant Debbie Kasman.
I would fully support planning of building new schools, where the schools should be located, etc. I think that is a fabulous idea.
But Kasman's support ends at the selection sites for new schools. She says parents will lose if municipalities have full control of school buildings, transportation, and catchment areas. Instead, she believes that parental advisory committees and school councils should be given a broader voice.
I think it's better if the Minister of Education build on those two already existing structure.
But Ryan counters with a simple, why not?
We can do this. We deliver other services that people depend on every single day. We can deliver, schools and transportation as well.
In Oxford County, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A month ahead of Remembrance Day, the city of St. Thomas has installed a new crosswalk in honor of veterans. The new memorial crosswalk is at Talbot and Moore Streets, just steps away from the Veterans Memorial Garden and Cenotaph. The city describes it as a bold and lasting tribute to the courage and sacrifice of our veterans. The local Legion is thanking everyone involved and believes it will help put the garden on the map.
It just reminds me of all those who sacrificed their lives and those who have, never been the same when they have come back after a war. It's important to remember them, and this will be a remembrance every time someone comes along here.
A celebration of life was held today for a London music icon. Friends and family gathered at the Grand Theatre to pay their respects to the loved ones of Peter Brennan. The founder of rock and orchestra group Jeans and Classics passed away at age 73 last week. His bandmates brought in some people from Peter's early days, along with current members of the music and arts community. Even though he's gone, his group will live on.
Peter was a very quiet leader. Sometimes you would never know. He'd be on stage that he was the boss. And so, he's trusted a lot of us over 30 years to keep things rolling through that whole tenure. And I think that's what's going to keep it going now. Like he's got a good handful of his veterans from the early days and a lot of new singers and new players that have come in the last decade. So I think it's going to keep going strong.
A London mother and nurse practitioner is now adding TV chef to her impressive resume. Rita Ismail now with more on a local home cook who is competing on season 8 of MasterChef Canada.
A high-stakes kitchen, celebrity judges, and 15 determined home cooks. That's the setup for MasterChef Canada's season premiere. And among them, Londoner Ashley Treadway.
Was floored. I was shocked. I was super excited. I was really scared and nervous at the same time.
Treadway is a nurse practitioner who says she first learned to cook out of necessity.
My mother was a terrible, terrible cook when I was a kid. It was shake and bake and sidekicks, and she knows this. She's going to kill me when this is aired. But it was so disgusting. I started cooking as soon as I could reach the stove. I think I was 10 years old when I started cooking.
Now her go-to dish is anything but basic.
Today I've made a squid ink fettuccine with pan-seared scallops. MasterChef Canada Kitchen is surreal. It is really nerve-wracking. You're with a whole bunch of people that you just met, but easily become a family really quickly. So it's my little MasterChef family is what I call them.
In the first episode, contestants face the Black Apron Battle, a pressure test where only 12 earn the coveted white apron and a chance to stay in the competition. For those who stumble, a second chance signature dish could save their spot.
Very proud. She worked so hard to get it. She worked so hard with all the jobs that she does. And to make time, first of all, to cook for a family the way she does, but then to take her passion onto a TV show has been pretty amazing to watch the journey.
Ashley, we'd like to taste your dish next.
And while Treadway hopes to someday publish a cookbook for busy people like herself, for now she's just soaking up the experience.
I think my favorite part of being a part of the MasterChef Canada show was just that I was chosen. Like, I was good enough that the judges and the production team saw it in me that I could compete in that environment. So that's a huge honor.
From her home kitchen and now to national television, Treadway is proving that passion, hard work, and a little heat in the kitchen can go a long way. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Still ahead on CTV News, the Prime Minister heads to Washington in a bid to turn down the tariff heat. And the Premier says Smirnoff may be the next product removed from LCBO shelves.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
The Prime Minister is off to Washington for his second face-to-face meeting with Donald Trump. And Carney is going in with an agenda: relief for tariffs on steel, aluminum, and the extra 10% tariff on lumber. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
Canadian officials are cautiously optimistic that tomorrow's meeting could pave the way for some relief on steel tariffs. And politicians from both sides of the border are hoping for the same.
I'll be very blunt. You never know what comes out of a meeting with President Trump.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is hoping for some tariff relief, but says the U.S. president will say one thing one day and then change course the next. At a gathering of governors and premiers from around the Great Lakes, Pennsylvania's Josh Shapiro said tariffs are hurting the U.S.
We're still seeing prices go way up because the president decided to push the tariff button and drive up costs on the American people. It is dangerous, the rhetoric he's engaged in, and his practices are making things cost more.
U.S. tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum remain at 50%, while Trump is increasing levies on other products like softwood lumber and wood furniture. One former special advisor on Canada-U.S. relations for then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau believes Tuesday's meeting could yield some progress.
Either because you hope that you're close to an agreement and you would like to push it over the finish line with a signature moment and a handshake and an opportunity, or to push forward on something that's stalled or slowed.
Expectations are high from opposition leader Pierre Poilievre. In a letter to the Prime Minister, the Conservative leader demanded Carney keep his campaign promise to negotiate a win, including the removal of all tariffs on Canadian goods. A White House spokesperson, Caroline Leavitt, says trade will be one of the many issues discussed between Carney and Trump when they meet in the Oval Office. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Premier Doug Ford is doubling down on his threat to pull Crown Royal from the LCBO shelves. He's also promising to remove a whole lot more. CTV's Bob Belichico reports.
Should we have theirs? Reaction to Premier Doug Ford's threat to take Diageo products off the shelf at LCBOs across the province if the company closes their near-century-old Amherstburg plant.
All the bigwigs at Diageo, I swear to God,
those bottles of Crown Royal are coming off the LCBO shelves when the last person walks out through that door.
It's important that he continues to talk about it.
John Dagnolo, president of the union representing workers, says Ford has tried to communicate with the company.
What can we do to make sure that plant is open? What do we need to do to keep Diageo in Amherstburg? But when Diageo is not even doing that with Unifor nor the Premier, it's an issue.
Crown Royal was born in Canada. It's a Canadian product. And, you can't just take that to the United States and pretend it's not Canadian. And if you take it to the United States, it won't be Canadian and we won't buy it.
Earlier this year, Ford dumped a bottle of Crown Royal and encouraged others to do the same. Now he's wondering aloud how the company could let loose a plant with 200 workers.
Who in the right mind, any business person with half a brain, would go after their largest customer in North America?
Ford says the province sells over $765 million of Diageo product. 35 brands could be removed from the shelves, including Guinness, Smirnoff, Bailey's, and Captain Morgan.
Based on what I've been told, it costs annually approximately $16 million to run the plant that's behind us here.
Dagnolo wants Ford to go all in now. Remove the products from the LCBO now to prompt a quicker response from the company.
The bottom line is the dollar, so we got to hurt them when it comes to taking it off the shelf, and they'll lose those dollars.
The Premier feels very strongly about this, and all options are on the table.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
If you look up at the skies tonight, you may be able to catch the first supermoon of 2025. This is the moon above Taipei skyline where it's nighttime. The moon, also known as the harvest moon, will be the largest and brightest full moon this year. This week that takes place on another celestial event, the annual Draconin meteor shower, though that may be harder to spot due to the bright moonlight. Julie Atchison joins us now. Julie, we obviously have this very exciting moon coming up tonight. What is that going to look like? What can people expect to see?
Well, we'll have a bit of cloud cover start to come in. So the early part of the night looks good. And unless you're in northern Grey and Bruce County, already starting to see some cloud cover there. But areas south, you can do a little bit of stargazing before the cold front brings the cloud cover. We have showers and thunderstorms in the forecast overnight. Today was a hot one. We hit 28 degrees, a couple degrees shy of the record set back in 1946 at the London airport. Right now, it's 25 degrees. Feeling summer-like across the region this weekend. I mentioned numerous records were shattered over the weekend and likely some records again today. Records breaking in parts of the Maritimes as well. As we head through the late evening, temperature-wise, we'll still be holding at about 20 degrees at midnight, so extremely mild. Thank you, Britt from Grand Bend, for that background shot tonight. She captured the northern lights in Grand Bend. Our cold front that's coming in, yes, this is a slow mover, and rain and thunderstorms have developed in advance of it to the north, but it stretches all the way down towards the Texas Panhandle. So this is a very elongated frontal system. Winds have been out of the southwest. They'll continue out of the south overnight as that front slowly starts to edge in. Chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight, and that means, yes, we could get into some rainfall, which will be some good news. It's been dry. You can see the rain just out over Lake Huron and the northern part of Georgian Bay, just starting to see things get going. But again, it's just a slow moving front. So we'll be experiencing showers and thunderstorms overnight and into tomorrow. We'll also have a little push of moisture coming up from the Ohio Valley tomorrow afternoon, and that could lead to another dose of rain. As we take a look across the country, a couple things I wanted to point out. Western Canada talking about some snowflakes over the weekend, but temperatures in the southern part of the provinces across the prairie still in the double digits. But really what stands out tonight is this dividing line between the cooler air off to the west-northwest and this warm air mass that's been in place. High pressure still in control. However, that ridge is starting to flatten out. The cold front comes in with the showers and thunderstorms tonight. You can see them developing likely in London anytime after about 4 a.m. We'll hear some rumbles of thunder. Huron and Perth County expecting to get into some rumbles of thunder as well. And then first thing in the morning, overcast. We'll have some heavy rainfall towards Haldimand, Norfolk, and Niagara. Then again in the afternoon, a little wave of rainfall coming in. The cold front will push through and the winds will shift northwest. We'll reach our high temperature first thing in the morning. By the afternoon, the temperature will start to drop, so some cooler air will start to filter in. Overnight, 16 to 17 degrees along the lakeshore of Erie, 19 to 20. So those look more like normal daytime highs. Now your Tuesday forecast, rain and thunderstorms in the morning, Heading into the afternoon, a bit of a lull and then another round coming in. We'll reach our high likely at about noon hour, and then we'll drop down to 14 degrees under a northwest wind. Our metal roof outlet forecast clears us out for Wednesday, and then once again we're setting up for another fabulous string of beautiful days, although it will be quite cool. We even have the chance for some patchy frost as we head into Thursday and Friday morning. But we're into sunshine Wednesday through to Friday. Beautiful 16 to 18 degrees. My daughter absolutely loves this kind of weather. She's been ready for some fall, so you can get your sweaters and jeans back out. Mix of sun and clouds Saturday and Sunday. For Thanksgiving Monday, sunshine 18 to 20 degrees. If you were hoping for an outdoor barbecue this weekend, this forecast delivers that for sure. Perhaps a picnic. Getting outside this weekend will be perfect. Midwestern Ontario, showers and thunderstorms tonight for you and overnight. A little bit earlier, your probabilities go up. And then as we head through Wednesday, Friday, sunshine and cool, 15 to 17 degrees. Looking great for the weekend, the holiday weekend, Lauren. Mix of sun and cloud to mainly sunny and back up to between 18 and 19 degrees. So we have one day of unsettled conditions and then beautiful weather to follow.
Thanks for that, Julie. Coming up, the pros and cons of purchasing expensive gap insurance when you buy a new vehicle. For the first time in 3 years, Tim Hortons is increasing its prices, charging more for a cup of Joe, reflecting a wider trend of rising coffee prices.
The problem are U.S. tariffs. The Americans are applying tariffs on Brazilian coffee beans coming from all over the world. And so whenever we actually import coffee beans from the United States, because they're packaged there, processed there, we're paying for that tariff indirectly.
A cup of coffee is going up 1.5%, amounting to a few extra cents. A Tim Hortons spokesperson says the price of coffee beans has more than doubled over the last 3 years. Coffee imports from the U.S. also played a role in the price increase. If you're buying a new or used car, you may be pitched gap insurance. It can pay off your loan if you owe more than a car is worth. Gap insurance can be expensive, and as one viewer found out, it doesn't cover everything if your car is written off or stolen. Here's Pat Foran.
In March of this year, Sujesh Putanvitil of Mississauga bought a 2023 Audi A4. Unfortunately, in June, just 3 months later, the car was stolen.
Middle of the night from my driveway.
With financing, he paid almost $54,000 for the car. Included in the price, he also paid for a 3-year maintenance package, a 6-year extended warranty, and gap insurance. Gap insurance is guaranteed asset protection. In the event your vehicle is totaled or stolen, it pays off your loan if you owe more than your car is worth.
I contacted the gap insurance. So they said they are not going to cover everything.
When the car was stolen, Putanvitil's insurance company paid just over $39,000 for the car, and the gap insurance paid almost $6,400. But there is still an amount owing of $6,900. That's because gap insurance doesn't cover things like warranties and maintenance packages.
Since I haven't used any of them, and I'm using my car only for 3 months, they should refund that to me.
Oftentimes, a lot of those products don't add any value to the vehicle. So if your vehicle is written off, but you owe thousands of dollars for all of the add-ons that you purchased, well, you're on the hook for that.
Car Help Canada says dealerships pitch expensive add-ons that may not be worth buying, and if you do, and your car is written off in an accident or stolen, you might not be reimbursed for them. If you're considering gap insurance, make sure you know what's covered before buying it.
Not only is gap insurance often very overpriced, but it's a product for a problem that should not exist to begin with.
Putanvitil says his dealer offered to refund $600 for the maintenance package, and the warranty company offered him $250. He would still owe $6,000 for a car he no longer has.
Since I owe like $6,000, I don't have any plan to buy a car.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index finished higher as energy and mining stocks had a strong day. In Toronto, the TSX gained 60 points, and in New York, the Dow lost 63, but the Nasdaq added 161. The Canadian dollar lost just 1/100 of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold gained more than $67 an ounce, and oil is up 81 cents a barrel. When we return, going the extra mile to integrate newcomers into London's community and economy.
5K a day is back on 97.5
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
Every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
With the November 4th budget just 4 weeks away, an announcement today warns a shift in tradition. Ottawa to release the budget from now on in the fall, while the fall update will be tabled in the spring. CTV's Judy Trin on the change, why it's happening, and the implications.
In a break with long-standing practice, the finance minister says all future budgets will come down in the fall, enabling the government to get transfer payments out earlier in the fiscal year.
It's also going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
The Liberals are also changing the budget framework to separate day-to-day spending from capital investments. Operational day-to-day costs include health and social transfers and government salaries, while capital investments encompass spending on major projects, housing, clean energy, and infrastructure.
When will the budget be balanced?
At the Finance Committee, the opposition slammed the minister for budget changes that don't add up.
Debt is still debt at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many columns you try to present in front of Canadians and try to trick them. Are you guys going to be cooking the books?
It's irresponsible for a member of parliament to use language like that. I will say that. It's irresponsible.
The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimated that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. Some economists say clearly showing how much the government is spending on capital investment is important.
What are we using debt finance for? Is it for, for capital investment, like, in terms that will be there for decades, or is it for current consumption?
The government says it will balance its operational budget, the day-to-day spending, in 3 years. For more details, the finance minister says we'll have to wait until November 4th when he tables the budget. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The City of London brought 70 organizations together to help newcomers learn about working, living, and playing in London. Brent Lale reports.
New Canadians, new connections.
I came here, it's a good place to see many employers.
Omid Kalebar moved from Iran to Canada 3 years ago and settled in the Forest City last year.
It's a good opportunity to talk with them about your careers, your job, and checking their website or giving your resume to them.
The city and the London immigration strategy brought in over 70 organizations to meet and network with new residents.
Making sure that people are aware of the full range of services that are there to meet their particular needs, as well as to make a difference.
Many people don't know what their pathway will be when they arrive in the Forest City. This is a way to connect them with small businesses or large corporations like Canada Life or PowerCo.
Canada's a very diverse country, and London and St. Thomas is very diverse, so anyone who brings a new skill, we're always looking to hire. We're here to get our name out in the community, meet people, let them know that we're actively recruiting.
And while PowerCo makes introductions, Drew Lowe Holdings has been in London for 65 years.
We have lots of opportunities. We're a construction company, property management company, so we have lots of general labor roles, entry-level roles, as well as, additional property management, maintenance, landscaping.
And many of these new Canadians are looking to get their boots on the ground. With a young family, Kalebar wants a second job to work 7 days a week.
I work in Cambridge, but that's from Monday to Thursday. I'm looking for another job from Friday to Sunday. Lots of expenses. I have to find another job.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Tomorrow, the Special Olympics Ontario School Championships are coming to London next year. We'll have all the details as hundreds of courageous athletes come to the Forest City.
Soaking up the sun this weekend. Absolutely gorgeous weather on the way. Still feeling like summer. Thank you so much, Dawn, for this photo taken in the Fraser backyard last night. Just gorgeous weather on the way. Get out and enjoy it this weekend. We'll take a run at some records in southern Ontario. And the next opportunity for rain moving into our region on Tuesday with cooler air to follow.
The first Nobel Prize of the year was awarded in Stockholm this morning.
The Nobel Assembly at Karolinska Institutet has today decided to award the 2025 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine jointly to Mary Branco, Fred Ramsdell, and Shimon Sakaguchi for their discoveries concerning peripheral immune tolerance.
3 researchers, 2 from the U.S. and 1 from Japan, won the top prize in medicine for their research on how the body keeps the immune system under control. Their work has allowed for the development of possible new treatments for cancer and autoimmune diseases. Delegations from Hamas and Israel are in Egypt for indirect peace talks on the eve of October 7th, which will mark 2 years since the terror attack on Israel and the military operation in Gaza that followed. The talks represent an opportunity to end the war and free the remaining hostages in Gaza. All sides are expected to discuss the 20-point peace plan laid out by Donald Trump. As part of the proposal, Hamas must hand over the administration of Gaza to a Palestinian body, and in return, Israel would withdraw its military and release Palestinian prisoners. France's government has been plugged into chaos after the country's prime minister resigned, just 24 hours after naming his government. Sébastien Lecornu, a close ally of President Emmanuel Macron, was the country's 4th prime minister in a year. He resigned after spending less than a month in office. Macron's opponents are now calling for a snap election. While many of us take a liking to a sunny and dry summer, it does come with some consequences. For some farmers, it meant a drought and crops aren't yielding as they should. CTV's Kimberly Johnson has more on one pumpkin patch that is feeling quite parched.
This one is probably half the size it should be.
These small pumpkins are one of the few that have made it at Canmore Orchard this season.
We had a drought. We had a significant period of over 6 weeks where there was no rain or next to no rain. Like the weather forecast would say, scattered showers. And I'm looking at the sky going, where? Because it was not happening here.
Owner Vic Baker says the orchard planted hundreds of seeds across 4 acres.
Just so sadly dry.
But a summer drought mixed with a broken irrigation system on the farm meant they had to buy hundreds of pumpkins this year, placing them in their pumpkin patch to meet the needs of thousands of visitors throughout October.
Heartbreaking to know that, okay, so you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do. You get the crop into the ground, you see that, yes, they are indeed germinating, and no rain. Consistently no rain.
But just 40 minutes away, it was a different story. At Miller's Farm in Manotick, the owner says they had a fruitful year.
I called our office manager, Dave Beveridge, and said to him, I can't believe the crop that's in here. And he said to me, I can't believe you're so excited over pumpkins. I said, yes, because I thought they wouldn't be any bigger than my head this year.
Miller's Farm supplied Canmore with 700 pumpkins. Owner Ron Miller says farms further north and closer to the Ottawa River received more rain.
That's farming. Sometimes maybe he might have to help me out next year. Who knows, eh? That's what it is with farmers. We help each other out.
Back at Canmore Orchard, the loss of the pumpkins is a financial hit. But Baker says their biggest draw is their haunted house, helping them survive a scary season.
Luckily, we are an ag tourism business, so we have to lean into the family activities.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Fans are buzzing following the Blue Jays' 2 big wins over the weekend. Game 2 featured a number of highlights, including the first ever Grand Slam by a Blue Jay in the playoffs. Allison Hurst has more on the lucky fan who ended up with the historic ball.
Deep left field. It is a grand slam.
A moment in Blue Jays franchise history. Caught in the stands by Brendan Craig, barehanded, overhead, in the second deck.
Instincts took over, and I played ball my whole life, so all those years of practicing and playing, they finally paid off.
Craig and his wife bought their tickets on Facebook Marketplace to catch the game.
Funny enough, the person who I bought the tickets off, his pitch to sell them was good spot for a Vladdy bomb.
The seats lived up to the promise, made sweeter by it also being the first Grand Slam in postseason franchise history. But the history-making didn't stop there.
6 Ks through 2 2/3.
Rookie pitcher Trey Yesavage took the mound in his first ever postseason start.
He's built for this game. It's awesome.
Setting a franchise record 11 strikeouts in a no-hit postseason game, and he did it in just 5 innings.
What a nice young man. That very pleased the way he's handling the situation.
Yesavage felt the support at the mound.
The energy and the passion that this fan base has, and all 44,000 people that were here tonight, it's special.
With the way the entire team played this weekend,
Now Varsho drills one.
Fans are feeling pretty confident heading to the Bronx.
3-0 and keep going up to the World Series.
The team is so good this year. I think they're gonna go just up till they win.
Optimistic but not cocky. So I think we can get this series, but it's one game at a time.
Craig will be watching, Grand Slam ball in hand. But what he's going to do with it?
I don't really know. Don't have a plan yet. If they're interested in it, I'd be happy to talk with them and get it back because it's a pretty historic ball.
In an historic series that's not over yet. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
That's our time tonight. For your latest local updates, you can always head to our website. Our next newscast is tonight after football. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Good night.